What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. This is the Leeds Therapy. Thank you as ever for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. On the screen, you'll see all of my socials. Just make sure that you are following them and that you are involved. So make sure that you are subscribed, your notifications are turned on, that you are liking the video, commenting, hyping, all of that good stuff. If you're listening to the audio version of this, just make sure that you are liking that for me as well, because that just pushes it and means that it'll get around and other people will see it, and that's always a really positive thing. So our FA Cup journey has sadly come to an end, and strange game. Just in the sense of it's one of those games where you kind of go almost, do you know what I mean? Like a game of two halves in terms of the way that you look at it. It's just one of those games. It wasn't to be for us. It was one step too far. And, you know, Chelsea run out 1-0 winners overall. They get the goal in the first half. We nearly come back in the second half. Stack with an absolute pile driver. With a good save from Sanchez. DCL should be scoring that header. He's either got to head it. He's got to head it down. That's what he needs. He just needs to head it down more than anything. It's just one of those situations. There are a couple of players that just didn't turn up today. They didn't play how I would have thought that they would have played. It was, you know, I'm disappointed, but I'm not too bothered. It would have been lovely to get to the final, don't get me wrong. However, for me, the league has always been the most important factor. For us in this game, the thing that absolutely killed it, as far as I'm concerned, is the first half. I thought the setup was completely wrong. I thought that we were, in the first half, we were playing too slow. We were playing, trying to play tippy-tappy, possession-based football out from the back, and we know that we can't do that. We were sitting off too much. We can't sit off, and that's one of those problems when we do. You know, it just invites pressure on, and as much as, you know, you can laugh at Chelsea because of how poor they've been this season, essentially it's a £1 billion squad. They're a good team. They will get opportunities, and they will, you know, eventually put one of those opportunities away. And, you know, Enzo Fernandez did, and you've got to say how fickle the Chelsea fans are as well, because they were hating him because he was wanting to go to. He's made hints to, you know, to working for Real Madrid, but that's all forgiven because he's gotten them to a final. The system that they set up was it combated ours. They won the battle of the midfield. Jer and I talked about it on Big Up before the game actually started, that the battle of midfield was going to be very interesting because they had Lavia, Caicedo, Chabala and Tosin and Fernandez as well as kind of like that middle block in the midfield. And we were never, ever going to be... They were very, very physical, essentially. Neto was a thorn in the side. I thought João Pedro had a really, really good game. I thought he was very, very good. He was holding the ball up well. But for us, it just wasn't to be. It's one of those things. It's a one-off game. It's a bonus game. One of these days, we're going to see us score at Wembley and see us take a goal. The thing that's important for me is Friday night against Burnley. And that's just the way that it needs to be. Going through the players themselves, Perry, other than the goal, I don't think he had anything to do. So, yeah, fine. Justin was okay, was fine. I thought Biol was okay. I thought Strauch probably had his poorest game for a little while. It was his kind of losing of the ball that caused the run up to the goal. Bogle was fine, if a little bit muted. Ampadu took him a little while to get into the game. When we're trying to sort of pass it out from the back, that's not Ampadu's game and style. It just doesn't work as well as what you need it to. Tanaka wasn't brilliant today. I love Tanaka. You know how much I love Tanaka, but as soon as Stack came on, you could see the difference straight away. With Stack being involved, just levels. That's all that I'm going to say. Aronson for me was probably overall our best player until he got substituted. He was constantly making a nuisance of himself. He was running around. He was tracking back. He was trying to get the ball back. All of that kind of good stuff. Okafor a couple of times should have put DCL in, and he didn't. He went for the shot instead. I understand that he is, uber confident at the moment, and that's absolutely fine, but it's just one of those things. We didn't do it today. There's not a lot else you can say. It just wasn't meant to be today. And Calvert-Lewin, this is an interesting one. I'm almost at the stage of saying that maybe we need to change the up top player and maybe put Metcher in. 3 games now where he's kind of been okay, but when chances have been presented to them, he's not putting them away, and we really need him to put chances away. And that's not I'm not trying to kick a man when he's down sort of thing, but I don't know whether or not it's maybe warranted for that to happen. Who knows? Half-time, the 2 changes that were made, Rodon comes on, Stack comes on, and that's for Justin and Biol. So we went for the I think we went 3-4-3 or 4-3-3. Anyways, excuse me, we went that way round, and it was an immediate impact. It was working quite well. We were much more on top. Like I said, we were much better in the second half. The thing that's killed us is the first half overall, in my opinion, because we can't play that out from the back thing. There's, the long balls out to DCL is going to be the easiest way out for us when we're playing. But then obviously you need Aronson and Okafor to be closer to DCL when he's knocking the balls down. So yeah, the change of system seemed to work quite well. And then at 74 minutes, we had Nonto come on and Metcher come on for Tanaka and Okafor. And again, Metcher does make a nuisance of himself. What Metcher does really good is, rather than the ball going long, is that he gives you an option into feet. He comes a bit shorter and does give you that option into feet, so it looks, so they can start to build something, start to get something going a little bit better. Longstaff came on at 86 minutes for Aronson, who had pretty much run himself into the ground by this point. So, and Longstaff was fine when he came on. I've got, no issues with what Longstaff did. I didn't think Chelsea were massively impressive. Like I said, for the second half, they just sat in and they defended really well. So you can't knock them for that. They actually defended really, really well. Possession-wise, it was 55% to 45%. We both had 2 big chances. We had more shots. Their goalkeeper makes 3 really good saves. There's the Aronson opportunity, which, it's a good save by Sanchez. There's just, the one that's, I think, that's annoying me more than anything is the DCL header, because he should have done better with that. And, the Stack shot, it's a really good save. He gets a really good hand to it. We all know he can be a bit squeaky at times, Sanchez, but it was just one of those things. They had 6 corner kicks. We had 14 fouls. We had 13. They had 494 passes. We had 401. We both had 24 tackles, 13 free kicks, 14 free kicks to us, 3 yellow cards to Chelsea, 4 to us. It was just one of those games. They had 1 big chance. They scored from it. Duels-wise, it was 50-50 on the duels. Defending-wise, again, pretty even on the defending side of things. Like I said, other than the Fernando, I don't remember Perry having very much to do in the second, if at all, had nothing to do in the second half at all. And we did fine in the second half, but the opportunities that we got, we just didn't bury them. And that's the thing. That's at this level, when you're playing against teams that are like this, that know how to shut up shop, that know how to turn it down, then that's absolutely fine. One of the problems that we had in the first half is that I think we let the occasion get to us a little bit too much. I think that we didn't allow, or we allowed Chelsea too much respect in the first half, and we let them come on to us too much. We let them pin us back. Their fullbacks were pinning our fullbacks back, which meant every time that we lost the ball, it was almost like a 7-on-5 scenario. So we were always being outnumbered by them consistently. It's just one of those things we've got to move on to. We've got to take it, stick it in the back pocket, and we've got to move on to Burnley. That's what we need to do. We need to go and win the game against Burnley on Friday. We've got to make sure that we don't take this defeat to heart and just bonus game. That's all that we treated. We've just got to move on. That's what we need to do. 100. We just need to move on with it and don't let it stress us out. The one big annoyance to me in the entire game was Chabala going over to Sanchez and telling him to fall down and feign injury so that they could have a tactical timeout again. And the funny bit of that was Ampadu going and standing in between all of them, and then Lavia squaring up to him. So just completely interrupting whatever it was that their team talk was to try and, have that tactical timeout, because we were on top at that point and we were doing quite well, and we just didn't turn the screw enough. But yet again, another situation where we're having tactical timeouts when we're on top of a game. That's the 4th or 5th time that's happened to us this season, and it's got to stop. For any team, it's got to stop. The ref knows what's going on. The ref knows what's happening. And to be fair, the ref did get in amongst everybody and moved everybody away at the end and just said, everybody just go and move away and stop standing by everybody else. So, and the other big thing was the check-in for the DCL pull on Cucurella's hair, or Sideshow Bob as I like to call him. It wasn't a pull. What he's doing is he's handing Sideshow Bob off in the back as they're moving towards the ball. His hand goes up into Sideshow Bob's hair. It gets caught in his hair, and he does this as he pulls his hands out. There wasn't a pull. I saw it within 3 seconds of that going on, of it going, all the United accounts coming out and saying, well, that's it, standards, and look at the way that, and it's typical, everybody hates. It's just give over. You lost the game a couple of weeks ago. Get over yourselves. It wasn't a hair pull. Show the entirety of it. It wasn't a hair pull. Open palm. His hands got stuck in Cucurella's hair and he had to move him out. The bigger annoyance is Cucurella falling down on the floor acting like he's just been shot in the face. But that's another situation altogether. And am I disappointed? Yeah, of course I'm disappointed. The fans, the Leeds fans were the only fans that I could hear on the TV while I was watching the game. So it is what it is. And not to kick Farker too much when he's down, but the mistake that he made was going for this playing out for the back and trying to let Chelsea come onto them so they could sort of break on them. And it was, we can't play out from the back. We don't have the players available to allow us to play out from the back. It's just a fact of nature. It's where we are within our position from a skills and tactical point of view within this league. It's just one of those things. We can't play out from the back. We don't have the ability to do so. And playing that way in the first half against Chelsea was an absolute mistake. It was an absolute mistake, and that's what's cost us this game. Because had we not played that way, like I said, other than the one goal that goes in, looking at the game from the whole, apart from that one goal, it's just we would have. I mean, it probably would have been 0-0 and gone to first half that way around. But I mean, you look at it from and again, when I talk about games of halves, we had 35% possession in the first half. In the second half, we come away with 57% possession. But we didn't use it. That's the thing. We didn't take the advantages that were offered to us. So there's nothing you can do about the Stack one, because that's a really good save from Sanchez. But DCL's got to be doing better with that header. He's got to be doing better with that header. It's got to go down to the ground and to the near post as well, not to the far post. He's got to go down to the ground and to the near post. Or even, I don't know who the player, I think it might have been Okafor that was running in on the left-hand side. He could have played that back across goal to Okafor, oddly, and Okafor would have had a tap-in. It's just one of those things. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's the first half that's cost us. We just need to make sure that we don't let this eat into us when we play against Burnley on Friday. Just go and smash Burnley on Friday and we'll be good. In fact, actually, just go and win 1-0. Just go and win the game on Friday and then we'll all be happy. But FA Cup run has come to an end. It is what it is. The Chelsea players do like to roll around on the floor as well. It is quite funny watching that. But It is what it is. I'm annoyed about it because it feels like we didn't turn up a little bit. We turned up more in the second half. We hadn't turned up in the first half, but I think we let the occasion get to us. Like I said, it's just one of those things. It's going to do it for this one. Do hope you've enjoyed it. Don't be too sad about this. Don't be too sad about this. This was a single game in isolation, and we looked not very good at this single game in isolation. Just move on to the next one, and that's all we need to worry about. Take care of each other. Most importantly, please take care of yourself. We were so close. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take it easy. Cheers.